Hello and welcome to another episode of Weekly Comic Reviews. I'm your host, Ian Yoxon, otherwise known as the Canadian Comic Geek. Now let's start off with comics you can easily walk into. Well, it's actually been a bad week because there were a lot of comics that are continuing where other comics left off, but mo- but only very few you can just walk in with having no clue. Which is actually quite sad now I think about it. Hell, there's even a first issue that feels like I need to read a lot of backstory to see what the hell is going on. Okay, we've got to start off with the most difficult thing to walk into, I guess, is issue one of Cataclysm Ultimates, issue one. Not to be confused with ult- the last the last stand of the Ultimates. This is basically a mini series to Cataclysm. And by the way, this cover looks amazing. Nick Fury, like with the ground littered by bullets, mostly because he's using like Galactus target prints as targets. I just love this cover. Although the story does not focus on the Ultimates whatsoever. Not at all. It's kind of sad, really. Like, it's their book, yet they're not in it. No, this comic focuses on Nick Fury and his team of the Howling Commandos, which got introduced in Ultimates back when Captain America was president, and that's a whole other can of worms. Basically, it's connected to Cataclysm, where where a few issues like The Hunger and Cataclysm issue 0.1 kind of you have to read those just to get the idea what the heck's going on. Although it raises a few other questions, and you have to read comics that are even further back, like just to get the idea of a few characters. Like the Howling Commandos, which they're awesome, but I kind of wish there were more issues of these guys before Cataclysm happened, just to get a better idea. Because so far, yeah, they're like the group that basically the Ultimates can't end. They're like the Black Ops team, but with a better name than the Avengers, because that can be confusing when you think about it. Anyway, here besides like the Howling Commandos, they're trying to save six countries where all of them have been converted into into mindless robotic drones of Galactus, the ultimate version. So basically, they're being roboticized by some weird cult that's devoted to Galactus, which is even weirder because the high priest, like the Pope of Galactus, is MODOK. Yeah, that's your head scratcher. So it's MODOK and AIM who run a crazy cult of converting people into a swarm of deadly robots for Galactus. Who, well, you can say Galactus anyway, and they meet the mainstream version, thinking the swarm version evolved to a giant man. It's kind of out there, and it actually shows more that the Ultimate Universe is doomed. I am losing so much hope that they're gonna survive this. If they do, I'm gonna be friggin' amazed how they build up from that, if ever. So if you are interested in seeing, well, Galactus being a much worse threat than you realize, especially what happens to Hulk. Yeah, Hulk is in this too, so that's why if you don't see him in any of the other Cataclysm comics, there's a reason why. Yeah, the planet's freaking doomed. I'm losing so much hope from this. Uh, Speaking of doomed, we're gonna go on to another comic, and I realize you see this review kind of continues where this comic left off. The comic I'm talking about is Fantastic Four, issue 14. And from the cover, you'd think, from reading issue 1, if you've been following the series, you see the Fantastic Four with their children going through another cosmic storm. After reading this comic, I'm disappointed because there really isn't much focus on that. They just like, oh no, Doc. Like basically, it picks up where 13 left off. If you've seen my last review, which makes issue 13 makes much more sense now after reading this. Where basically, future version Johnny Storm is now a future version. Well, he's not. He's not the Fantastic Four's Johnny Storm, but a Johnny Storm from an alternate universe, who's also from the future. Yeah, things got a lot confusing. Just right off the bat, right there. And this is technically part 2. You could easily walk into this, because with an open mind, mind you, of utter wackiness, like, basically the Fantastic Four, like, they're basically dying, like, cause from their powers, which apparently cause from the dimension future Johnny's from. You know what? I'm not gonna call him Future Johnny anymore. I'm gonna call him Doom Johnny, because the dimension's known as the Doom Dimension, which explains why. Because well, Doctor Doom is in charge with his allies Kang and Annihilus. Which here, yeah, he's pretty badass. Of course, for a long time, like for the fans who started reading this back when it was relaunched last December, it's finally leading up to this. Like, even when you're reading the FF, where you're leading up to at least the character Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. Of course, you gotta get, this actually has a unique twist to it about the ending of how it's gotta get there. I'm assuming, because we see like, oh, we're 2/3 of the way there, and we finally have like our Fantastic Four and the Doom Fantastic Four, who actually look a lot different, so you don't need to be confused how they look. Like, no, sorry, that sounded weird. So you don't need to be confused. It's like, oh, they look the same. How can I tell them apart? Well, it's very easy. Just by looking at them. It's very easy. Still, if you're looking for something and like something that's like interesting and it makes you want to see what happens next, yeah, issue 14 of Fantastic Four is an okay read. Even though it's not written by the same guy, because even though he left cliff notes of how things should go, just a little heads up in case you're slightly disappointed. Alright, next up, and my god, this is the most funniest well, it's funny to me. I don't know if anyone else would enjoy this, and if you're a fan of Bruce Timm, like the anime Batman series, you should totally get this comic, because surprisingly I was almost turning away from it. I like it. It's actually really good. Issue 0 of Harley Quinn. Yeah, New 52, I'm not liking her clothing, although here it gets slightly better. Slightly, mind you. But, weirdly enough, doesn't bother me. Yeah, no, it bothered me at first, but here it's just like, I like how, like, it feels like an actual Harley Quinn issue. But at the same time, like, Deadpool just constantly breaking the fourth wall. It's hilarious that way. And I love how basically the main story, which is basically breaking the fourth wall in the first place, is that after reading Superman issue 23, the opening of Psy-War, gets her the idea that she wants her own comic series. And basically from the writers, yeah, there's 2 of them, and weirdly, and it actually works. I don't mind. They actually can write an awesome story. That basically them, like Harley Quinn, the writers, are trying to find a perfect artist. In this book, there are 17 people drawing this, and that's actually part of the gag, and it works. I'm not gonna spoil anything else, but like it eventually will lead to issue 1, where basically where Harley Quinn sets a whole setting where Harley Quinn's gonna live now with all her wacky adventures. I will say one thing though, because early in some of my earlier videos, I said Laura Flees was like the Deadpool of the DC universe. I'm taking that back. Yep, taking it back, because after reading this, Harley Quinn feels more like the Deadpool of the DC universe. It's actually quite deep, really. Also, as a special treat, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description of or me and several other people left a group review of what we all thought of the Harley Quinn issue. Just in case you want to in case you want to know more about it and what me and everyone else thought of the book. Alright. Next one is also, it's another part, but I thought, I can say, because you could get the idea what's going on. Slightly confusing at some parts, but it's not bad. Superior Spider-Man Team-Up, Issue 6. Almost read that wrong. In this cover, yeah, you could pretty much say it's Spider-Man and the Sinister Six. Or Superior Six, as they're now called here, because he's mind-controlling them. Yeah, Spider-Man, who's really Doc Ock, that's the best way to be a superhero. Mind-control your teammates. They kind of like the last issue. It pretty much continues where it left off, where, well, basically, yeah, he has his new team, and people are going like, what's he doing? As everyone else who read the last issue was probably thinking that as well. Also, it kind of continues off. He still teams up with Sun Girl, and we learn more about her, and I'm liking this character. Like, she was just like some of the younger heroes inspired by Spider-Man to be a hero. Okay, that's fine. Love the fact that she's calling him a jerk as well. He is being an ass. He's being smart. I know he's trying to be a hero, but he's being an ass. Also, we finally see Lightmaster, yeah, the villain of the comic, and his Masters of Evil. Man, they cannot come up with a better name, can they? And the Masters of Evil actually look impressive. Let's see, we got the Wrecking Crew, Titania, the Absorbing Man, Mr. Hyde, Blackout. I don't think I'm missing anyone there. But yeah, that's actually a probably well-established team. And they actually know how teamwork works better than the Superior Six. Well, they're mind controlled, so yeah, I guess that could be a problem. And I love the connection between Lightmaster and Sun Girl, which I love. I had myself a little laugh how they explain, going like, wait a minute, aren't you? It's like, wow, almost crossed the line there, Marvel writer, almost crossed the line. But I approve. This is a fun read, and it makes me want to see what happens next after reading the ending, and basically, yeah, as predicted, this is gonna blow up in Spider-Man's face, literally. You'll probably get what my meaning once you read it. Although I am unfortunate to say, I thought it was going to be a 4-issue story arc, but after reading the very end, it's going to be a 3-issue story arc. Not bad. I kind of wish it went a bit longer, but yeah, I think if you can make this all tie together, I think it could work. And now, last but not least, and I find this hilarious in a 60s Silver Age kind of way, because it's ridiculously goofy. And that would be Scooby-Doo Team-Up issue number... Yeah. I apparently don't have that. But I will do a review soon. Very soon. I just need to call someone. Hello, Bruce Wayne? Do you know how I can get Batman's number?